back to my channel, where today I'll be talking about tattoos I'm never gonna get. So last week I did a video on piercings I'd never get and I thought it was really fun. I haven't actually put it up yet, so I have no idea if anyone liked it, but I want to make a video on tattoos anyway. Before we get into it, I'm just going to point out the very obvious one. I would never get anything overtly offensive, any hate speech, things like that. I feel like that's just an obvious statement to make, but I want to make it anyway so no one thinks that that is something that I would ever get on my body. But with that said, let's move on to the list. So the first thing I would never get is makeup tattoos. I change my makeup a lot. I do a lot of different kind of styles with my makeup and it has evolved over time, so I don't think makeup tattoos are a very good idea for me. I did think for a little bit about getting freckles. I think freckles are really cute and that is probably the only one I would consider. I don't like the look of eyebrow tattoos and I don't like the look of eyeliner tattoos, and again, if you ever want to change them you can't, you're kind of just stuck with it. I know they're not permanent, they're not like normal tattoos, they do fade after quite a long time, but they may never go away and you may just want to change them, so I don't think it's really worth it for me. The second one is names. The only time I see names as acceptable is when it's a pet or it's a person that has died. Any other name tattoos I don't quite understand, because people change, people's names change, relationships change, and you can't guarantee any of those things when getting the tattoo. I don't want to call out my parents for doing this, but my dad does have my mum's initials on him. I think initials is a little bit better because they're easier to cover up. Not that my parents are ever going to get divorced or anything, they're very close in their relationship, and he did wait until their 25th anniversary to get it, but at the same time it makes me a little bit wary. Also, my mum jokes about getting all of our names tattooed and that sounds like the worst idea ever, because I don't know what name she'd get tattooed for all of us, because all of us don't go by our legal names, so I don't know what she'd even get. But anyway, let's move on. Number 3 is realistic portraits. I do like realistic portraits when they're fresh, but I have never seen a healed realistic portrait that I actually like. I was looking at getting a realistic portrait not that long ago. I wanted to get Xenocraty from Tamburlaine, which is my favourite play. So she wouldn't be an actual person, she would be a character, and I also wouldn't go off of the 2 people I've seen in that role either. But I do know that when people do realistic tattoos, more often than not, they're going to have to use a reference, so you do kind of have someone else's face on you, even if you're not specifically going for that face. And then again, I don't think they heal right. I've just never seen one fully healed, and I mean 10, 15 years down the line, that I actually like the look of. I feel like they just heal kind of badly. Just because skin is fickle in that way, it doesn't heal perfectly like a piece of paper would, so I just don't think it's a good idea from my sort of style point of view. Number 4 is black and grey tattoos. Black and grey tattoos are probably the most common tattoos people will ever see, but for me they just don't suit how I like tattoos to look. You can't see any of my tattoos today, I'm just realising I'm completely covering them up. But all of my tattoos are neo-traditional tattoos apart from one, which is a watercolour tattoo. So they're all black with a lot of colour, and I just don't think that black and grey would suit me very well. I love black and grey tattoos. My older sister has mainly black and grey tattoos. She only has one colour tattoo and it doesn't even have the colour yet in it. It will be colour, but so far it is all black and grey. And all of her tattoos are amazing. I love all of them. They're just not something I'd like on me. I can admire them from afar and say how amazing they are on other people, but on me I just don't think that they go with my style really. If I got one, I could see myself just getting it coloured in at a later date, so I might as well just start with the colour anyway. So yeah, I can never get a black and grey tattoo. The final one is my own drawings. I have this thing where anything I draw I will hate it within at least 2 months, and having that permanently on my body would be a terrible idea because I would know for a fact that I will not like it at some point in my life. Also, my drawings very heavily lean on portraiture, and like I said before, I don't like realistic portraiture. I'm kind of moving away from doing really realistic things, but at the same time I don't draw in a style that I like for tattoos on me, so I don't think it would be a very good idea either way. I did think for a while about trying to design some tattoos, but I feel like if I did that I would just kind of do an outline kind of thing and then have the tattoo artist go in and actually make it detailed, put their own style into it, put their own spin on it, and make it into an actual tattoo. So yes, I never get my own drawings tattooed. Seeing as this video is going to be really short if I stop right there, I might talk a little bit about my plans for the future. I have a few tattoo ideas currently that I can't afford, but I will talk about them anyway. The first one is I want to get my knees tattooed with Care Bear heads. I have always been a huge fan of Care Bears. I used to have a Care Bear castle when I was a kid and I apparently play with it all the time. I don't have the greatest memories, so I don't quite remember what it looked like, but I do have very distinct memories of liking Care Bears. So I want to get Care Bears on my knees. I just think they'd look really cute. Another thing I want to get is a kraken. I want to get a kraken specifically. I'll put the drawing up of one of the pieces that I'm studying for my dissertation project. I'm doing a dissertation project on sea monsters in 16th century Europe, and one of the things I'm looking at is cartography, and there is a cartographer I can't pronounce his name, so I will put it on the screen because I feel really awkward whenever I get it wrong. I have to say it so many times to my dissertation supervisor and I can't say anyone's names and it's really embarrassing, but I don't want to do that on video. But he drew this map of Scandinavia and at the top it has a little kraken in it, and that kraken looks so cute. I just think he looks very adorable and I kind of want to get that as a tattoo. I've also been thinking of getting another tattoo that goes with my dissertation project, and that is one of these drawings by Ambrose Pierre. Oh god, I'm going to say all these names wrong. His first name is definitely Ambrose, I don't know how to pronounce his second name. But he wrote this book on monsters and marvels, and in that book there is this illustration of some mermaids. They are really, really cool. They look like this. This is the actual book. Ignore my little post-it notes, these are just so I know which pages I'm looking at. They're based off the descriptions of Pliny the Elder in his 9th book, Natural Histories. This book's really interesting. If you want to look at like encyclopedias from the 16th century, this is a medical encyclopedia, weirdly enough. It's got a lot of very interesting things they thought about. Its main focus is actually on conjoined twins. A lot of it is on conjoined twins because the guy who wrote it was a surgeon. It's also a very good look on how people drew animals based off description. Like there's whales in here that don't look like whales, an ostrich. It reminds me very much of the Blake tiger. Is it Blake? I get the romantics mixed up. Let's actually Google it. Yes, it is the Blake tiger. The illustrations he put on those poems, they were wood carvings. They're really, really cool if you want to look at them. But he also drew these tigers completely off description, so they look nothing like tigers. It's just very interesting to see how information travels throughout the world. This book is good. I would highly recommend it. Obviously it's 16th century, so a lot of the stuff that's in it would probably be considered very much inappropriate to talk about in modern day times. Like lots of the stuff about conjoined twins, they talk a lot about freak shows, that sort of thing. I feel like I've been rambling too long about this now, but I found this so interesting. I've just been doing dissertation work, if you can't tell. I shouldn't even be doing my dissertation work right now. I should be reading this paper that I have to read on the Incas for tomorrow that is 127 pages long and I've got about halfway through. So yeah, I should probably go. Let's finish this video here. If you did enjoy it, please give it a like, comment down below what else you'd like me to do, and subscribe as I post a new video every single week, and I'd love to see you again. But until then, bye!